Hi everyone, another week in the podcast studio, and today we thought we would do a podcast on a charity that PermiServ supports, which is Say Aphasia. So my dad, Howard, is here today because he suffered a stroke in
October, not 2019,
and he has been left with a condition called aphasia, which you may have heard of because Chris Kamara and Bruce Willis and Chris Ellison, some of the famous names out there at the moment that have all got the condition as well. And it's been a little bit more talked about, I guess, in the media. So we are doing a podcast today. So we're going to chat to Dad so you can learn a bit about aphasia and what impact that has on everyone's lives.
Yeah.
And because it's Aphasia Month.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd do that. So, Dad, there's no pressure today.
Okay, good.
So I'm just going to say what aphasia is, and then we'll start talking, and then it'll probably become apparent what aphasia is.
Yeah, I think it's the podcast subtitles.
Maybe subtitles. No, we do not need subtitles, Dad. So aphasia is a condition where the brain has had damage on the language centre, and you have trouble speaking and finding your words, or you get the wrong word. It's almost like your language library has had an earthquake, and every book and every word within that library is everywhere. So, I mean, Dad was slightly different because he had to learn how to talk again, as in the physical learn, so how to move his mouth and tongue in order to pronounce the sound.
I have aphasia and aphasia.
And apraxia.
Yeah.
So he had both. Well, in fact, when you first got diagnosed, you had dyspraxia, which is a whole different thing. But what you're left with now really is aphasia and apraxia.
Yes, yeah.
So Dad's really fortunate that he can read and write. A lot of aphasia
I had to learn.
You did have to learn.
Yeah.
But the brain has got a really wonderful way of recovering. A slow process.
Neuroplasticity.
Should we try and find the hardest words possible for you to try and say?
Neuroplasticity.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dad's learn how to I can't say it. This is our problem, Dad. Half the time you try and say the word and I don't know what it is.
Neuroplasticity.
It's a brain condition.
No.
This is the trouble when you are smarter than me. You're saying the right word and I don't have a Scooby what it is.
But my intentions is unaffected to the stroke.
I know. Yeah.
So, neuroplasticity.
Does that sound right? I wouldn't know, Dad. You cannot just... Okay, you Google it while I carry on. So Dad had to learn how to speak again physically and try and find the words. And it's been a really long process. He was mute for 3 months.
Yeah.
And he was in hospital for that time. They were amazing. We were really, really lucky. It was just before COVID. So we feel truly blessed because we were able to be in there. Well, the family was in there with the hospital with him for pretty much that whole time. And then, so when he came out, it was pretty much shut down straight away, which made the recovery process more challenging. But Dad's very dedicated, and we made a pact as soon as we found out about this condition, which was we are not going to feel sorry for ourselves about this. We're a stroke survivor.
Yeah.
And we need to learn how to cope with what my life is now. And we tried to find entertainment in it. We tried to find it funny, which is very difficult.
I know. You have to laugh, but have to laugh.
You have to, otherwise you can get very low very quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's upsetting and frustrating for everyone because you like, I mean, I used to come to you about everything. I still do.
Yeah.
But for that first kind of 6 months, we couldn't do that.
No.
But one thing which we did learn quite quickly was how similar you and me are, because I could guess what you were saying.
Yeah.
So we didn't realise quite how similar we were until that happened.
Yeah, funny.
But that's something you can't do, is finish the words.
No.
Because then it will never... The trick is trying to find the word, and then if you get stuck on it, go away from it, and then come back and try and get those neurological paths back, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, from your point of view is going to be different from how we as a family experienced it. Do you remember having the stroke?
No. Well, yeah. I think so. My I have to morning for extras. I have to milk and coffee, and the milk in the microwave, and I can't get it. Something happens. I don't know why, but something happened in the brain. I can't get it.
You couldn't work the microwave, could you?
Oh, so okay. And then I have to repeat the talking. Repeat.
I think that was your language centre crashing.
Yeah.
I think that's what was happening.
That's really bad. And now I don't know why, but I have to find it.
Yeah, you were looking for something.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
I don't know what you were looking for. I think you were trying to show me. It was almost like you were trying to show us what was wrong, because I think you knew, but then your brain was also conflicting with that. I think you were trying to show me your phone.
I don't know.
But I don't know. But it wasn't like, so you see on adverts about strokes, and this is a scary bit. It's just be quick. If it's something completely different or out of the order, because you didn't have your face drop, you could lift your arms, you put on your shoes when you walked to the ambulance.
Yeah.
You went to the loo before you went to the ambulance. You were perfectly well. Number one, cut that bit.
No.
You were perfectly able-bodied. There was nothing to suggest that there was a stroke happening in terms of what's publicised.
The pulse is
Mum just knew that there was something that was going on that had to be neurological.
Yeah.
And acted within 5 minutes. I mean, as soon as you could...
Ambulance.
Yeah, ambulance. And then me. Because obviously I'm a medical professional who added no value to the situation.
The birthday.
It was my birthday. Yeah, thanks for that.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It was the worst day.
Yeah,
ever.
I know. Yeah.
Very, very scary, because we thought we were going to lose you.
I got lucky. My the ambulance, the 20 minutes to...
If that. I think it was very quick.
20 minutes to Brighton. The stroke word, and I have a CT and the clot pastors Mestingsons.
Medicine.
Yeah. Clot busters. And it's not working. So, okay. So I have a surgery to my brain, and all the what I think is you have to. I can't bear with.
What, the type of surgery?
Yes.
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, it's...
but I do remember the following day when you'd had the surgery and you didn't understand how the operation happened, and neither did I, because they're going through your groin.
Yes.
Which absolutely baffled me. It was mind blown.
I know.
But then your body did some weird things after a stroke, and it's amazing what the brain does. You had some stress rashes that your body presented.
Yeah.
And yeah, your body did go into a bit of shock after the whole thing, but I guess it would after having serious brain damage.
Yes.
But in terms of your CT scan, you shouldn't be able to read and write.
I know.
Or probably talk, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're trying to find the word?
Yes.
Let's have a look. Oh, thrombectomy.
Freeze. It's the artery is the femur artery, get out to the heart and to the brain.
Yeah.
And the clot and sense is get it out and gone.
Well, you had the clot and then you had a bleed, and it's where the bleed is where most of the damage was done.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other conditions that could have happened, and a lot of people have not heard of aphasia, which is also mind-blowing because there's a lot of people who suffer with this condition in the country.
At 400,000 in the UK.
And I think the thing that makes me so upset about this is that a lot of those people are too scared or not supported enough to go out because they're judged on how they're talking and perceived to be less intelligent, or there's something wrong with them because they can't formulate their words.
I have the shop, and the shop keeping you go drunk. I'm not drunk. I have aphasia, not drunk.
I know.
So, okay. So
it's really upsetting. But that's why we asked you to carry your card on you.
Yeah, but yes, but not a card.
But you haven't got it on you today, have you? Everybody got your card on you.
But some every body is different. Sometimes is not writing. Sometimes is not reading. Some things mute. Nothing. Speech is nothing. I had to have to speech and language, and I have to learn again. It's really hard.
It is. But then also in the hospital and medical professions since have said that it's that first year. It's not true.
No.
We've worked with loads of people. So
Sorry.
Say Aphasia is the charity that came into the hospital when Dad was in PRH.
That's Paul and Collins visit me and hospital PRH, these Prestigious Royal Hospital, and visit me, and I have mute nothing. I can't mute. I thought I can't say nothing. So So now I have is a pair leader to the Say Aphasia and manage to Bedges Hill group now.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it's not a stroke. You have to trauma.
Yeah, any impact on the brain.
And accents as
Dementia.
it's all these different aphasia. So it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah, but possible.
Yeah, and that's what we've always said.
Yeah.
There's no such word as can't.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
And you've got to change how you do things. But I guess we just never let you sit indoors.
No.
And I can imagine it would be very easy to do that and not want to go and order a drink or order. But I just figured the worst that can happen is you use, well, we used a device. We had the iPhone and a speaker.
Yeah.
And it was all programmed up. So you'd press a button and then you'd have your Steve Hawking voice come out.
I think...
But it can't be worse than that, could it?
No.
So I just said, well, this is the most difficult it's going to be.
Look...
well, apart from the fact you couldn't say... cappuccino.
Yeah, so it's really hard.
It is really hard.
No,
it was decaf you couldn't say.
Decaf,
yeah, it was decaf.
So that's the...
That coffee shop was lovely though, weren't they?
I know, it's really good.
Yeah.
Coffee shop.
Is this your app that we had originally?
Yeah.
There's so many good apps that you can program up or you can type into them. So if you can write or type and read, then you can type it into there and then it speaks for you. There's other ones as well that you can have predefined. So I did loads of ones and it was categorised into going out, shops, coffee shops and stuff. So I just programmed in, can I have a decaf cappuccino, please, and stuff like that. But there are ways and there are things out there to support people with aphasia. It's just that if people don't know about it or know what it is and it's not diagnosed, it makes it very, very difficult. And it's not always as obvious as yours. So your aphasia is... Well, sometimes it's obvious and sometimes it isn't. Depends on how tired you are. Yeah. Some people say, oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
And then other days you get stuck in a word for a while.
Yes, it's... Up and down, up and down. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. But I think it's sleep is good.
Yeah.
And morning is good. Afternoon is not good.
It depends on what sort of day you've had, and you do put yourself under a lot of stuff. You work very hard still.
Yeah.
You do lots of groups. You run your own peer group now in Burgess Hill, which is fairly new.
Yeah.
You were part of the HERE group that the NHS were running.
That's the visits to the stroke ward, and really under standards.
Understanding what they're going through.
Yes, look, I have a stroke. Me is fine. So fine, brilliant.
Well,
fine.
You're very lucky in terms of how it could have ended.
Yes.
And we're always blessed with that. But it is a serious condition to be left with and very frustrating for everyone. And I mean, Mum found it difficult at the beginning as well. And there's loads of challenges, isn't there, when you change so much?
Yes.
Because you are a different person now as well. You've got a few different traits. Well, you're so much more sociable.
Yeah.
And not that you weren't before, but you weren't really bothered about it. Like you weren't an extrovert person, whereas now, considering you have limited speech capabilities, you are more than happy to go anywhere and talk to people, and you actively talk to people.
Yeah. That's
definitely changed.
I know, yeah.
And I can't imagine ever you running a charity group before your stroke and how stressed you were. So, if there's going to be a silver lining.
Oh, yeah.
That's the silver lining.
I know. I think so.
If there can be one when you're left with this condition. And also you are a support for other people who have had strokes and suffer with aphasia. So you do go down and speak to Chris Ellison.
Yeah.
He's a friend of yours that you... I can't remember the word. Befriender.
Befriender.
Yeah, so you're that with the NHS as well, aren't you?
Yes.
So you do keep busy. So I don't think that helps with your tiredness in the afternoon.
Yeah, you have to tired. It's fine.
So what would you say to someone who's got aphasia? What 3 tips would you give them if they're sitting there listening to a podcast about aphasia and Aphasia Month, and maybe they haven't had the same journey as you? What 3 tips would you give them?
You have to process these vibe. I can't say that.
It'd be a weird podcast if you could say it. Positive.
Yes, good.
I'm all right. I can say it.
Yeah, but I have to work hard to speech and language, read and write again, and really hard. But you have to get it, and then sometimes a stroke affects to the arms and legs, and it's not easy now.
No, it's not
you
easy.
have to write all the brain is left brain is right arms, right legs.
But it depends on where the damage is in the brain.
No,
Because you,
but
able-bodied.
my the hemicycle, the left hemicycle, the right arms and legs.
Yeah, it always impacts the opposite side.
Yes, so my speech is the broca, the brain broca, and you have to Google it.
Google the broca.
Yeah, and the speech and language, not the our arms and legs. But
at first you
you
couldn't use them, and you couldn't open your hands.
Yeah,
Do you remember that? You couldn't
claw hounds.
Yeah.
And I can't go now. It's
and
fine.
your legs, because you had those plastic leg things on that filled with air, weren't they? And then I remember going into hospital, like it must have been day 5 or 6, and you weren't in bed, and I was like, obviously that makes you panic.
Oh yeah.
And then you were just casually walking out of the bathroom. I was like, and you were as if nothing. Like, yeah, what? I was like, you're walking? But those days seemed a lifetime
4 days. 4 days.
4 days bedridden, weren't you?
Yeah, and 5 days walking.
Yeah, that bit was quite quick. Your cognitive wasn't there, so you couldn't. You could say, even when you could say yes and no.
No.
Yeah, you couldn't. You were nodding.
No.
Everything was no.
No.
No, it was round the wrong way, because I said, "Are you cold?"
Yeah. No.
No, but actually, you thought you were saying yes.
Yes.
So I then put a fan on you to make it colder.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, at that time, I didn't know that you didn't know that yes and no were. Well, your brain was telling you one was one and one was the other.
Yeah.
But it was a weird.
I can't to the clocks.
No, you couldn't tell the time. A bit like me.
I can't write and read. My reading better now.
You started to read in Princess Royal.
Yes.
Well, you became aware that you possibly could.
Yes.
You realised that they were words.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. Everything changes. So it's a terrifying time. But the brain was really weird, wasn't it? Because like things in Brighton, you didn't know what a colour was.
No.
And then suddenly, someone brought you in those green and black chocolates with the colours on.
Yeah.
And you were like pointing at them. So you knew then that was a colour, but then you couldn't tell us that that's what you knew.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like the least fun game at PRH, and trying to figure out what you had for lunch.
Yes.
Was awful. Like trying to make conversation with someone who can't make conversation.
I can't. The menu is list, and I can't read. I have to.
They forgot, didn't they, that you couldn't read and write, so they just left you. You just ticked everything.
Tick. I don't know.
I said, "What are you having for lunch?" I don't know. I was like, "Did someone come round and read?" No. I was like, "Oh God!" So who knows what you're getting? I mean, they looked after you so well.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think it would have mattered. They would have just brought you anything. They were so wonderful.
Yeah.
But that was a really rubbish game of what you had to eat. It was like charades.
Yes.
But sometimes it wasn't in the right word anyway.
Pictures.
Yeah, one of those was very questionable. It looked like a bedpan. What was that again? Bakewell tart.
Yeah.
And then the guy opposite, he was fabulous, wasn't he? But he had aphasia where he replaced words and thought it was real. So he, wasn't it one day he was in the middle of conversation, just said flannel randomly, but then he realised that it said flannel.
Yes.
And was like, that's not the right word.
It's curtain.
Curtain.
Yeah. Not flannel.
That was my first realisation.
So
this is going to be a really hard road to recovery, not knowing what the right word is. But at least you knew that was wrong.
Yeah,
a lot of people with aphasia, they don't know, and their brain's telling them it's right.
Mm-hmm.
I said to you, does that sound right? And then you would know it didn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so let's keep trying then.
Yeah.
And then I did a speech and language course, which I still haven't finished, but I did do the core work because I didn't like some of the things that were said in the beginning, and I thought I can't really have a comment or an opinion unless I learn more about it.
Okay,
so that's why I learned more about it. But I'm glad I did, because now sometimes I can use some of the books that I got to help the people in your peer group.
I think it's the time is wrong. It's not the 6 months. It's every day. My speech is every day is better. Up and down. It's slow, but
you
better.
can have a conversation. You're doing a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Could you imagine doing
I know.
this? Even, do you remember when we did one in the garden? So you were home. I can't remember how long you'd been home from. We did a video. So it must have been to do with Say Aphasia. We did a video, and it took us quite a few takes.
1 year.
Was it 1 year after?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how that sounds now, because your speech was still in the very early stages.
But, yeah.
Whereas now we can definitely have a conversation. It's harder for you.
Yeah.
Especially in our family, everyone talks a lot.
Yeah.
So even pre-stroke, you didn't really get a word in.
Yeah.
So now it's even harder.
Stop.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you have to do it though, don't you? And challenge people.
I want to speak.
Yeah.
And now I have forgotten.
Exactly. Forgotten what you were going to try and say. And I think that's the challenge for the other people, is to remember to stop and pause.
Yeah.
And take it slowly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it sometimes is understanding as well. You've always understood.
My speech is hard to speech now. So I have to really hard, but
it's like you're not fluent.
No. It's really hard to speech now. So stop. You have to listen me. Listen to me. And hard, really hard.
But I think that's the thing that the people around the person who's got the condition need to have that support, because if you don't know that that's what they need, then you can hinder the process.
Yeah.
And I never wanted you to feel out of a conversation or not included. It's very easy to do that when you're trapped in a world of your own thoughts, but you can't speak. And that's why children get frustrated, because they can't get across what they want to say. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And the frustration is real.
Yeah.
And people around you have to support that.
Yeah.
And that's also really difficult and a challenge.
Yeah.
But that's why I think Say Aphasia is so good, because it does give that support to everyone.
Yes. All the Say Aphasia group have to chat and take time. Fine. Take their time. Okay. So you have to.
You don't have to rush all the time. You can have a conversation.
Yeah.
But just go slower. And
Yeah.
I had to teach you that a lot.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
slow down, because you tried to say all your words at once and then wondered why no one understood you.
I know.
But look how much it's improved because you have.
Yeah, I think it's fine now, but I have to slow down.
What's the most difficult thing, do you think, about having aphasia? What would you say has been the most difficult for you personally? Phone.
I can't the conversations the phone. I can't.
Because we always speak on FaceTime, don't we? Because it's easier to read people's faces, and that was also hard in COVID with the masks on.
But have to phone to the. I don't what I think it's the phone to the bank and fine. Okay, I have aphasia. What's that? Okay, I have a stroke. Okay, so I think a stroke is better to the aphasia.
Well, no one knows what aphasia
I know.
is. It's so annoying.
I know.
And that's why this podcast is hopefully going to at least educate a couple of people with what aphasia is. And hopefully then if they do see someone, like it made a massive difference, the coffee shops, the shops that supported you on that journey.
Oh, yeah.
The difference it makes when someone's just kind and just steps back and just goes, take your time.
Yeah.
That extra 30 seconds made all the difference to you. And that was all the coffee shops we went to.
But the take their time, have to chill. You have to chill. I have chill.
Chill. So, what support options are there then for people? So let's think about this. So there's going to be a lot of people that don't have any support or a diagnosis for that matter. I've heard of quite a few cases of that, and that not everyone's had the same journey as you either. You were really lucky.
I got lucky.
Yeah, you did get really lucky.
Family and friends is lucky.
Yeah, they were really good as well, weren't they? Because it is scary to have someone with a condition in your friendship group even that's changed and they can't speak.
I know.
You don't know how to do it.
I know.
So it's educating them as well, because I mean one of the worst things I've had to do with you was practicing reading with Little Miss Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Someone who is educated.
Yeah.
Your degree was in what? Astrophysics and astronomy.
Yeah.
Which I keep saying astrology, but it's astronomy. No, you don't know anything about a Libra.
My degree is you open university. Oh God, open university.
Slow it down just a little bit more.
University.
Yeah.
I have modules, the aphasia.
Wrong topic.
The modules, the astrophysics and astronomy.
And there's me reading Three Little Pigs.
Yeah, I know.
And I think if anyone listens to this who's an author, I would love a book that is adult content, not adult content, an adult read.
Yeah.
For someone who is recovering from a stroke that may have impaired communication problems, that are learning to read again. That's not Three Little Pigs. It was infuriating, but I mean, it did the job.
But it's I think it's the where's the word blind? Word blind. What's that?
Word blind.
Yeah. What's the name?
You're trying to think of an author.
No. Is
it a book?
No. It's the medical contingents.
Medical condition.
Word blind.
Word blind.
Yeah.
To do with reading
Yes,
again?
yeah.
Like when you start reading again?
But
Or
yeah, but
this is an example of the fun games you can have when you have aphasia. Trying to find the context is brilliant.
The reading
Yeah.
is same the
Dyslexia.
yay hey same yeah
Oh, Dad.
yeah
I'll tell you a game we should never play.
Yeah.
Articulate. We wouldn't get anywhere, would we? Blimey. Right, okay.
yes. So it's
Dyslexia. Similar, isn't
same
it?
yes same.
It's got to be written in a
Yeah.
in a phonetical way sometimes, because we have to do a lot in phonetics at the beginning to get the sound right.
Yeah.
So I can see why the children's books worked, because it's teaching someone how to speak
And
read.
repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did the reading and writing thing as well.
Yeah.
But it'd be good if we had some of that content that could be more adult based. Because what's that author? The teenage David Walliams.
Yeah,
that was a bit better, because at least it had some humour in it, and it wasn't quite so.
Yeah.
And it's more. I mean, I'm not saying that's childish writing, but
That's
it was
really good.
It was good, wasn't
Really
it?
good,
And that helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to have a book. There's no point me writing anything. That won't help anyone. What other things should we talk about, Dad? I'm thinking about how we can help people and where they can go. So there's Stroke Association.
Yes.
And then there's loads of stroke clubs in every place, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, Say Aphasia is quite big down here. I don't know how big it is up north. Is it everywhere? Because Skipton's a place, isn't it?
Yes, Skipton's and all the Wales and not Stockland now.
Okay.
But
Fairly. So that's a good support.
yeah.
And
I think it's 20. I think it's 20 groups.
Is there?
Yeah, I think so.
So we started going to the Hove one when Dad came out of hospital. I went with you for quite a while.
Yeah.
Just till you got your confidence up, wasn't it? And also just to recognise when you were getting tired and go. Because otherwise it's pointless.
It's same now.
Yeah, you have to leave.
Yeah,
but you can make your own decisions.
Yeah. So
it's not even then that you could make your own decision. It was just you would feel bad, or it was a new setting, wasn't it?
The tease.
Is that another word for tired?
No. Yes. Fatigues.
Fatigue?
Yeah.
Yeah, another word for tired.
Yes, really tired as fatigues. Yeah. Okay. I have to.
It was a busy group as well, wasn't it? Or it still is, I think.
Yeah.
I've not been for ages, unfortunately.
I think it's now is whole fruit as 35 or more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So that you can get hold of cards from Stroke Association and from Say Aphasia. You can get in contact with any of the groups, and you can get a card that should help you go out. And if you're trying to order something, I think it's a really good thing to do, to try and get out there again. You shouldn't be a prisoner in your own home as well as in your own brain. Even if you can't speak, there are apps, and you can have training in that, and there's help and support out there for people who've got this condition.
Yeah.
To make it so that you don't feel so alone and trapped. You don't have to just sit there at home. You can still be part of any community. You're still a valid person just because you can't speak so clearly. So Say Aphasia round here, Dad runs the Bird Seal group for Say Aphasia. So what we'll do in the notes is we'll put a link to Say Aphasia and probably Stroke Association as well. And if you've got any questions or if you want to come along, it's open house, isn't it, really?
Yes.
People can just turn up. It's a drop-in group.
Yeah.
It's there to show that you're not alone.
No.
You've got support. There's other people with this condition that get by in different ways.
Yeah.
And you'll talk about your experiences. And some weeks we just have a chinwag, don't we?
Yes.
When I'm fortunate enough to be there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I love being at the group because it's such a lovely group of people. Sometimes I can't make it because of work restrictions, but it's a really nice, welcoming group.
Yes.
But yeah, there's support out there, isn't there?
Yes.
Cool.
And
Go on.
the apps
That's one you type into. So there's a box you type into what you want to say. Can you press that? And they're quite affordable. Like, some of them are free, but a lot of them are affordable. America has more resources than UK, purely because over there you have to pay for treatment, obviously, and so they have a lot of resources for people who leave hospital with aphasia, and then they've got these workbooks. They're absolutely amazing. A lot of them you should get in speech therapy anyway. A lot of the things to do, like some of the games to begin with that we would do was tell me 10 things that are in your kitchen. It's to ignite that place in the brain, and then if you still couldn't get the word or match it to an image, you'd find a different way of saying it. That was another good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where we would, if you couldn't find the word, we would try and find another way into that part of your brain. Are you still trying to work that?
Yeah.
Have you forgotten?
Yeah,
you've not
I know.
used it for so long.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh,
you had your volume down.
Yeah, no.
Oh God, do you remember as well when you were in hospital and we couldn't? This is the other thing.
I don't understand.
When you have a stroke and you have aphasia and you're mute, you then can't do a lot. So if, like, everything was in Dad's name in the house, Sky, everything, and we couldn't access Dad's phone because we didn't know his PIN code. And then suddenly, after weeks and weeks of trying to use his phone every day doing different PIN codes, we remembered that it had the thumb print.
Yeah.
Which was we were livid, absolutely livid. But it was a big thing, a consideration that people don't take into consideration, do they? When couldn't do anything,
nothing,
because you couldn't speak. It's not that you weren't able-bodied, and you just couldn't speak. So therefore, poor mum. I mean, she had a right old fight with Sky, didn't she?
I think it is good.
Yeah, and so if you can't find the words, you've got pictures, so you can press the picture, and then that brings up the word. Lots of activity at your doorbell.
Yeah.
I love it.
Emotions. And things like that, wasn't it? So it's emotions. So I'd say, how are you feeling today? And he could tell me an accurate feeling.
Rubbish.
Because some days were really low, weren't they?
Yeah.
At the beginning, especially. Because it's a scary time for everyone, really. But...
yeah. It's really hard. The family and my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really...
It's hard.
Yeah, hard, yeah.
So, ending on a positive.
Yes, good.
So, thank you. So I know you're going to be absolutely shattered now, so you can have a little nap this afternoon.
But so, I think it's now positive, but I have to joke.
Yes.
My Brighton at the hospital.
Yeah.
I have to first shower on the own. So I have to close the door and shower. Okay, good. And I have to wash my hair, wash my arms, wash my legs, and my slippers.
Well, I remember that as you just showing me your slippers that were wet, handing them to me, and I went, do I want to touch them, Dad? You had to try and explain that you had in fact had a shower with your slippers on, but also you realised that you didn't have, you couldn't see one half of your body.
Yeah.
So your brain was telling you. So when you were washing yourself, you're like, oh God, what's that? And it was your arm.
Yeah, arm.
That was a few weeks,
Yeah.
wasn't it? That happened.
I think there's 4 months.
Yeah, it's a long time for
yeah.
you to recognise that side of your
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
It worked, but you didn't know it was there.
But the right eye, it's funny, but it's the right eye is different, and not blind. It's
Your brain told you it wasn't there.
no, it's gone. But now it's really nice. It's
You know it now. It's
no,
there.
it's there's my the right eye is good now. It's 4 months, but yeah, but now I have the driving and
I know, you're really lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
You had to take your test again, didn't you?
yeah,
It was really funny because it's such a turn of events. So you took me to my driving test and then I took you to your driving test. But luckily the guy, again, was so supportive. And it's
Yeah.
like, I know someone who's had a stroke, it's fine. And then made you feel really comfortable
Yeah.
that you could communicate at a level enough to do your driving test.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have to go with you.
no,
I stayed back and waited for you to come
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
And obviously you passed your driving test and it was
Yay.
all fine. Yeah. Again, another luxury that, we weren't
Yeah.
sure of that we would get.
yeah, yeah, good.
Yeah, really good. Well, thanks for coming in today. It's been really good. And PermiServ wants to do different chats because, let's face it, waste can sometimes be a bit boring. And me and Tim do better waste services over on a different channel. And I wanted to do PermiServ chats to be a bit different and to bring a little bit of personability into PermiServ and what we're about. And I don't think you can get more personal than this for us
Dad.
anyway, than my dad. And yeah, anyone wants to chat about it, then follow the link below and we'll be more than happy to help. So thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
Done.